Let's see. What are we doing? Let's see. Welcome, welcome. We're doing episode 3. Hey, welcome. All right. People excited. Look at this. He's ready to go. Podcast episode 3 Spotters podcast. Alf, how you doing? Look at there
Yep.
he is, the man of the hour.
Hello.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. How are
I'm
you?
doing good today.
That's awesome. It's been a while
Not
since we
bad.
talked. I haven't seen you in a while.
Yeah, I was supposed to go to Jacksonville, but on the way up there, my car tire blew out, so
Oof,
I couldn't make it up there. So,
sucks, man.
Blasi. So, we're talking to Julius. How do you pronounce your last name, Julius? Bloznalis?
Bloznalis. Yes.
Bloznalis. All right. All right. So everyone knows you as Rocket Man Aviation. You're in Tampa, Florida, and I'm guessing all you spot is aviation,
Yeah. Well, yes.
military, space, and
So for the longest time,
uh,
I was just doing military spotting, but this year I kind of want to expand more. I've been getting into obviously rocket photography every now and then, but I kind of want to expand my horizons when it comes to photography, some nature, uh, people. I think it's cool to expand finally.
yeah, that's cool, man. So, how did you get into photography?
So I got into photography probably around 2016. Obviously, I've always enjoyed aviation, and I would always go to air shows and see people with these, big cameras and huge lenses. And I was always super, super excited to, see the photos they got. And I was go online and see all these cool photos on Instagram. Uh, so I wanted to take the liberty of getting a camera. And thankfully, my aunt, she was into photography a lot. So she lended me my first ever camera, which is this old, I think I still have it. It's right here, as a matter of fact. It's the original Canon EOS. This is the
Oh,
first
nice.
camera I ever used. And ever since then, I have been shooting planes.
Awesome. Did you study aviation also, or did you just love the sound of freedom and the smell of jet fuel in the
Oh, I
morning?
definitely love the sound of Freeman. No, feel. um, I am going to college. My degree is in poli sci, but my plan right now is to join the Navy and fly. So
Awesome. Well,
yeah,
good luck.
thank
Hope
you,
I could
thank you.
spot a squadron when you fly overhead.
Hey, I'll make sure to give you guys something cool.
Awesome. Freedom. Yes, President
I'm
Morales.
talking about.
Um, so I invited you onto the channel yesterday so we could kind of go over some questions and tried something
Yeah,
new, and it seemed to work out really well. Everyone started asking some questions. I failed to write those down for my notes today, but I think a lot of them was like, what camera do you use? You said you have the R6,
I have the R7.
R7, and that's a crop
Yep,
sensor also.
that would be a crop sensor mirrorless.
Oh, very cool. How do you like the mirrorless?
Uh, I absolutely love it. I used to use the 60D, which amazing camera as a DSLR, but uh, just I want an upgrade, something that was newer. I feel like I feel like I could have been doing better with my photography, so I went ahead and pulled the trigger on the R7 last couple years ago now, but
Very,
2022.
very cool. And what lens are you shooting with now?
Currently, I'm using the 100 to 400, but I recently ordered the 200 to 800, which was a pretty penny, but I
Oh
think
yeah,
I think it was worth it.
very cool. Um, it looks like Raptor Aviation sent a comment here, a question. What are you looking to fly with the Navy?
Hopefully fighters. F-18 is like one of my favorite planes,
Yeah,
so I would love to fly F-35. But honestly, I would be more than happy with anything they let me fly because that's been my dream since I was a kid. So
very cool.
yeah,
Yeah, I thought about that when I was in school, and for some reason, yeah, East Coast Hornets. You missed it. He did say Hornets.
better be
Yeah.
Hornets. Yep.
Um, and I think I was told at one point that I was too tall to fly like fighters, and I was like, well, I guess I could still fly a C-130 if I wanted to, but I never pulled the trigger on that. I never jumped into that side. I really wanted to, but I went into aviation mechanics, and then I went into college soon after for air traffic. So I've been doing that for like 17 years now.
And man,
So
I love that you do air traffic because the amount of times you pulled in the clutch for me while I'm taking photos, I can't get 7 a.m. So
yeah, for sure.
I love that you are in the air control. I hope you don't mind. I'm gonna open this beer in honor of Toby Keith.
Oh, shit. Yeah. Well, hold on. Let me go get my drink of choice.
Who gives me
Stand by one
I
second. I'll be
will,
right back.
I will
You get to answer some of these questions that are coming in.
yeah, for sure. I will let me scroll through here and see. What is my funniest spotting story? Ooh. My funniest spotting story, probably when my buddy dropped his camera in the water, and it was funny because when he dropped it, it landed straight up like a tower. Very funny.
Yeah. So I had a dentist appointment today, so they gave me medication.
I did
So
too. No kidding.
I couldn't get it, but I got a non-alcoholic ginger beer.
Oh, very
I
nice.
like
All right,
the I like the ginger flavor.
crack it open
Yeah.
here.
Here,
Oh,
cheers.
cheers. Absolutely. I gotta drink some of that Key West that we.
Yeah, that stuff is good too.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's scroll up these. So, Master Jedi Photography said, "Who do you got in the Super Bowl?"
Uh, Niners all the way. Niners all the way. Which I'm sure he's very happy about me
Yeah.
saying that. I hate the Chiefs. I'm sorry. I despise them. But yeah, I'm really interested in seeing what the flyover is for the Super Bowl. Hope it's something good. I think it's just the Thunderbirds, but I'm sure.
Oh, come on, not the Thunderbirds.
Yeah,
Has to be like a B2 or something.
I know that was one of the coolest things I've ever seen. Of B2s and Super Bowls. Getting to see the Super Bowl five was amazing. The story behind it's even sillier, I think. We were trying to find a place to park all day, and it was me and my friend Marta. She's based in Aviano now, but we went and got lunch, and then we're trying to like figure out where to go, and it'd be like after before the Super Bowl starts, and everything is locked down tight. Security's everywhere. We couldn't park in any of the regular spots. We would park for the air show or air for the flyover. So we ended up going by TPA and parking in this like dude's like driveway that was like super far in this dark alley. Like you couldn't even see my car. As you know, I have a Jeep that's black, so you couldn't even see it when it was behind all these trees. So we're like hoping like no one will see it, no one will tow it. And me and Marta start sprinting down the street, and we get there maybe 5 minutes before the Jets come rolling in, and so we're like, we're out of breath. We're trying to find a place to sit. We're hoping no like cops roll up on us, but thankfully it all worked out. The Jets came in, and I got some pretty good shots for the light, but it was definitely one of the coolest moments I've had spotted.
Yeah, that was you did get some really great shots for that Super Bowl in Tampa. We had one, I think it was probably the year before at Miami, and I even coordinated with FHP because the only spot to get it from Miami is on the
Yeah,
Turnpike. And so I called FHP beforehand. I said, "Hey, I work here. I do aviation photography. What do you think? Do you think this is allowed?" He's like, "Yeah, it shouldn't be a problem." So that was on Friday, and then on Saturday there was word about the president coming to town to watch the Super Bowl. But I thought, okay, well, I got permission. I should be good, right?
Yeah.
On Sunday when I showed up for the for the flyover, I parked right on the median, and I saw one guy on an exit with like a badge on, like a press
Mm-hmm.
badge. You know, same idea, getting the Super Bowl shot. And I was like, you know what, that's fine. You know, maybe I'll should I cross 4 lanes of traffic and make my way up there, or I think I'm just gonna hang out here. And next thing you know, it like 5 minutes right before the jets were flying over, I had five FHP pull up, and they're like, "Sir, what are you doing? You need to leave." I'm like, "Oh well, here's my credentials, and
Oh.
do you think this is going to be okay?" He's like, "No, we're not in control of it anymore. It's now Secret Service, and you need to leave. Give me your badge. Let me see what." So they a full background check on the side of the road, and I was able to get two shots. The planes were too high that day, but I did like a double exposure, and I was able to kind of bring it a little lower.
Mm-hmm.
But that has to be one of probably the scariest. Have to go change my shorts before I get home type of deal. I mean, I still got the shots, but it wasn't fun to be on the side of the road with five police cars surrounding me. Sometimes sometimes we do some crazy shit for
You're
photos.
not wrong about that. In like ankle to chest deep water for a photo, or we've been talked to by cops plenty of times in Key West. I know
Yeah,
every time, right? So I feel like we get stopped by NCIS.
yeah. I mean, it is what it is. They have a
Yeah,
job that they have to come in and make sure that you're not, doing anything that you're not supposed to. And like I said in a previous episode, when the police come out there, I want to make them feel as comfortable as possible. We're not there to cause any harm. Sometimes I like to show them my photos. Be like, hey, this is what we're getting. I'm not getting pictures of people or buildings
yeah,
or other vehicles on the highway on the road, or on the runway. But just trying to make them feel as comfortable. They got called out there, and they're not. They're on high alert. So we're trying to not have them get all. We're not trying to ruin the spotting that we do get. So
absolutely. I tell a lot of people that get pulled over or talked to. I'm like, they're just doing their job, and it was like, oh, they're being such buttholes for keep it
yeah,
clean on. But I'm like, you got to remember, like, they probably didn't want to be there. They're just doing their job, and they see a bunch of kids taking photos. I don't think they really care that much. They just want to make sure you're not a terrorist. And
yeah, for sure.
most times they're nice about it. I'll show them my photos. I never had a problem. If they ask you to leave, then you leave. No
Yeah,
problem.
yeah. I said it to another spotter I spoke to last week. I said, if someone tells you you can't be there, you can always go across the street
Yeah, exactly.
and go a little further away. You're probably going to still see the plane. You're not going to get maybe the best shots sometimes, depending on what the lighting is.
Yeah.
Um, but it's no spotting trip is worth getting arrested
Mm-hmm.
for, you know. So,
Lost boys in the Keys. We've had
uh,
some good times down in the Keys.
yeah, for sure.
We need to get back down there, all of us, all of you Miami guys.
Yeah. What's what's one of these shows you're coming up to first?
So my plan right now, show wise, starting off with McDill, obviously, because that's the hometown air show.
Yeah.
Fun for sure because it's the 50th year anniversary, and I also kind of consider that a hometown show because I've been going there since I was a wee lad. Um, I'm really tossed up between Fort Lauderdale and Cherry Point right now because they unfortunately fall on the same weekend, and Fort Lauderdale has to May 29 again, and that's always cool because I get to see you guys. And but the Cherry Point Air Show has the Harrier, and I'm a big sucker for the Harrier.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah, I was lucky to catch the Harrier down in Key West 2 years in a row
mm,
when they flew down there for training. So Cherry Point was on my list in 2020 and never happened. And this year I haven't been able to get the time off for that. So maybe I'll be not be able to go to work that day.
it's good.
I'm feeling it already. I'm feeling it for May.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like death. No one drive 8 hours.
For sure. I was actually thinking about doing Tyndall this year, but it's just going to be like a beach air show,
I
you know?
I think I'm gonna go to that. I've been kind of planning it out. The QF-16s are doing the flyover, the F-15 EX, and I know it's gonna be probably kind of backlit, but I think it'd just be fun to go see those jets. Even if the shots are subpar, I think it just
Yeah.
plus it gets me out of the house.
Yeah. Oh, that's
Gives,
for sure.
and maybe some nice vapes.
Oh, yeah,
Um,
that is true.
oh, and
Is there
definitely Miami again this year. I held off for so long going to that show, and I finally went last year, obviously. But I'm really excited to come back this year.
yeah, Miami, sometimes they're a little late to show off what's all kind of happened, but it hasn't disappointed yet. So we'll see. We'll see what the lineup is for this year.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm sure it'll be very exciting because it always is. Everything I see is always super cool from that show.
oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, Aviation Chris. Yeah, the B1s normally go down to Homestead. I don't think there's there is room at Opelika. They did fly in there a few years ago, many years ago. Um, the bigger planes like the B 52 goes down to Homestead also.
All the 35s are coming to Miami. Ooh, that'd be cool. I know where the B and A were on there. I didn't realize the C was at.
Oh yeah, that'd be sweet.
Also, speaking of the B1, I was lucky enough last year. The pilot who flew the demo reached out to me. I texted him this year about it. He said, according to him, he's like, we're working on coming back and maybe bringing 2 B1s. So if anyone wants to get B1s, hustle your butt down to me.
Hell yeah.
So,
Bring all the bones.
hey, I love me some good bones.
Let me go up to a question here. Let me check it real quick. Man, there's a lot of comments. You're popular.
I know.
Most popular guest we've had so far.
I always think it's funny. When I look at the questions, I always think it's funny when people see my Instagram. I feel like some of them get the word they get the look that I'm this very mature professional guy. And I think a lot of people realize I'm just this 21-year-old kid that likes go shoot jets and then go have a beer afterwards.
Hell
Like
yeah,
everyone else.
man. You gotta have fun.
Yeah, man. I love getting to see people when I'm shooting stuff. I think that's one thing that I try to bring to being a photographer. I feel like a lot of people when I was coming up shooting, just being really like stubborn, like I'm focused on my photography kind of. Excluding a few guys, obviously you guys were always super inviting to me when I was first meeting you, Mar and Alex. You guys are always super nice to me when I was first starting out. So I really appreciate all you guys for that first off, but I like to bring that same kind of vibe, I want to be a guy that is super nice and outgoing to all the spotters because it's a community. I think it should be treated as such.
Yeah.
To socialize with people that from different aspects of life and aviation. When I just think it's super cool to be able to see all these people that are in this profession.
Yeah, definitely. And our military spotting is even smaller than the commercial community.
Absolutely, I think it makes it cool. Everyone's so tight. I I love getting to meet up with everyone and shoot photos. Not even really about the photos anymore. It's just getting to see all these amazing people.
Definitely. That is one thing that, hopefully I was hoping to build with this podcast idea was to invite the community, share, we're all doing pretty much the same thing. We're all doing photography, which is already a small percentage of people doing, pro level photography here.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of new people that are doing it, a lot of young kids that are, have the eye and they're able to, really do great photos and then get into the editing and just like excel, like blow away in just editing, because I look at my raw shots and they're pretty crappy. It takes a lot to edit it sometimes, and sometimes the settings are on par, and I don't have to edit much.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of skill out there, and I like to share that
Yeah.
skill with everyone. So
Yeah.
this podcast was definitely that, to open the community up, share with everyone, other people. If you're not following Rocket Man Aviation, you should be. If you're just by sharing more people online, maybe it helps all of us out. Share the advice, share the lessons learned. Share our pictures. Just kind of enjoy being part of the community.
Yeah, and likewise, go follow this guy. Taught me a lot. But also, and I don't know how far we are into this, but anyone that's in here, feel free to always DM me about advice or anything. I might not see it immediately because I'm kind of lazy, but I always try and respond. And I don't want to be the guy just leaves people unopened because I'm too good for them.
Yeah. So the question I saw up here was from Markham23. He asked, what aircraft do you want to shoot that you haven't yet?
Ooh. Yeah, for a long time, it was the F-117, but I went and got that in Duluth. So now I think my bucket list shot is probably either the Japan F-15 aggressor jets. I was supposed to go last summer and didn't, unfortunately. Or an F-4 Phantom. I love the F-4. I've always wanted to see it. But obviously there's none left flying in America here, so I need to go overseas. So maybe there's a trip out there this summer. I don't know. But that's definitely a bucket list catch of mine is the F-4.
That's awesome. Yeah, the Japanese F4s look pretty badass with that blue and red.
Yes. That was always so cool. And the F-15 aggressors, I love all their camos. They're all so unique.
Yeah, the last time I saw an F4 was probably, oh man, I was definitely like 10, 11 years old, and the high rollers had them before they transitioned over to C-130s in Nevada. That's Nevada Air National Guard.
Yeah.
They were flying F4s as, I think their originally was to search for like fires in the
Mm-hmm.
mountains. Can you imagine like you're flying an F4 over a mountain range just to see if there's a fire up there or if someone needs help.
That'd be nuts.
Now it's C-130s.
Yeah. I actually saw Hyro not too long ago in Key West, of all places. It was there back in like May of last year. So, farthest place from Nevada, but,
Oh, the high roller C-130?
yeah, he's down there for like a week or two. I was fortunate enough to get him.
Oh,
So,
awesome. Yeah, it looks like Fleming said I saw an F4 in 2011 at Nas Jax.
it
That's
must be a QF4 or something.
Oh yeah, QF4s. Oh, what's that? The zombie ones?
Yeah. Yeah, those are all either in the Gulf of Mexico or in a boneyard now.
Yeah, I think Cecil had QF-16s in there at one time when I went down there
Yeah.
or up there.
Yes, he still has F-16s. They're coming back to Sun this one. I love the QF-16. It's probably my favorite kind to shoot. I love the fact that it's like this zombie jet that life. They're all like usually all dirty looking. I think it's cool because it tells a story.
Oh yeah. So we're getting confirmation here that they build them at Cecil. I guess is that Boeing hangar
Yeah,
at Cecil is where they're building the zombies.
that's awesome.
Leave it to Boeing to build zombies.
Yeah, they want to make it, it's them.
Next thing we'll see is a Alaska Air zombie.
You see that door flying around?
Yeah. So, some of the other questions we had in the channel there was, do you have a favorite aircraft, a modern or a warbird?
Ooh, favorite aircraft? I'll do both. Why not? Warbird, definitely the Corsair. I love the Corsair. I think it's cool, sleek looking plane. Good family friend of ours, Mark. I know his mother. He flies the F4U that was at Cecil, that Marine one.
Mm-hmm.
He flies for ATAC. He's a really cool guy. I met him a while ago, and he's a really cool pilot. And I just think it's cool he flies that because it kind of adds on to why I think it's a cool plane. But I just love it anyways. And then probably my favorite modern jet either got to be the F-15 or the F-18. I love both. Both are just so cool. I love the two-engine, two-tailed jets. I think they look a lot
Hell
cooler.
yeah. Yeah, you're in par with me there, man. The F-15s that come out of Homestead, man, then when they go unrestricted, is just badass. And
I
The F-18 Rhinos are just
so loud.
they're amazing. I mean, I have a soft spot for the classic
Mm-hmm.
ones, or they like the B models,
Yeah, the
I think.
Legacy one.
The
Those
Legacies, yeah.
definitely one of my top favorites too. It's really unfortunate that they're retiring them. I mean, I know they're old and they need to go, but uh,
Yeah.
I always love seeing the old Hornets, and then I feel like coming to above the F-15. I was just up there Saturday actually with a couple of these guys, watching them fly during the weekend. And you're right. I mean, watching them, they always go unrestricted and full burner, and it is
For
loud and
sure.
awesome.
Yeah, that's freedom. As soon as they launch, that's freedom every day.
It is. I love it. You know, I wish I was closer. I mean, at McDill we get things every once in a while. I think we're gonna get F-35s here in a couple weeks. But I mean, if I had some that was like 10 minutes from me every day, I'd be there every day shooting them or just at least watching them. You know, I just think it's so cool.
Yeah, the McDill's a interesting spot. You have to be, there's pretty much one good spot to go catch
Yeah,
the jets out of there. When they take off towards the water, it's like, okay, well, who has a canoe or a kayak to get in there?
I
You hit, yeah, you said you've done it, right?
yeah, I've done it. I've done it twice. I have a paddleboard, and it's obviously not the best idea with jet skiers and boaters, and obviously the police there. I'm sure aren't too fond of you getting close to the runway.
Yeah,
But I did it once with an AC-130 that was there. Then I did it a couple. I don't know when was that? U2 at McDill, probably July. Um,
yeah, the NASA YouTube.
yeah, so it only took off over the water, and I got it taken off from the spot at Gadsden. But I was like, I need to get a better shot at this. So I bumped the paddleboard out and I started paddling, and I didn't realize that like Bowden was insane that day. So I started going out to the spot where I would go to shoot him landing, and there's jet skis flying by and there's boats flying by, and that paddleboard's getting rocked. So I'm like, I might just paddle back in and take my losses. So I ended up paddling back in because I kept getting like sweeps. The current kept taking me in off the boats into the base. I'm not trying to get in trouble here. So I paddled in and I just kind of started shuffling out in my shorts and t-shirt in the water. I got soaking wet. My bag, thank God, is waterproof, so I was able to bring it out with me. And thankfully, I didn't get more than waist deep, but it was a little farther than I wanted to be. But I still had a good time. It makes for a good story.
Hell yeah, that's the stories that we all want to hear. Like, what's the craziest extreme thing you've done and be able to catch some random jet that you haven't seen before?
Yeah,
That NASA Canberra, that is pretty much I think all NASA jets are
yeah,
unicorns because you don't see them, and they have that. What I wonder if they still have the meatball on the tail for most of them.
yes, yeah.
Yeah,
I still people.
yeah. That's I think the last thing I caught, which is kind of a you guys get them because you're close to Lakeland, so you're able to see the NOAA jets.
Yeah,
But I caught a Gulfstream 5 down in Key West. They did
mhm.
missed approaches down there, and I was like, okay, a Gulfstream 5, that's kind of cool. Not something you see every day. Let me see if I have the. But then when it actually flies over, you're like, oh wait a second, this thing looks strange because the nose is longer and they have this like the P3 tail,
Yeah.
but a little shorter. I'll post that up tomorrow. I'm still editing it. The photos weren't great. It's like kind of backlit, and I cropped the tail a little bit, but it was a pretty cool kind of unicorn coming down into Keys. I mean, there's a bunch of unicorns out there,
Yeah.
but there's a lot of strange shit that happens in Key West.
Yeah.
But this is a pretty cool jet. I haven't seen that before.
Ooh, here's a good question. Do you have a favorite photo on your site? That's from my aunt. That's my aunt. Uh, I'll let you answer. What's your favorite photo you've ever taken?
Oh man, dude, I'm looking at my library um for Lightroom right now, and it shows, I don't know, like some 100,000 images, just since 2022, and that's on OneDrive. I probably have another 300,000 somewhere else.
Mhm.
All time favorite, um, I'd have to, man, the air refueling I did with McDill when I first got hired as an air traffic controller. We did a fam trip
Mhm.
at McDill. Is you stayed overnight at the hotel there on base, and then you walked over to the terminal, jumped in a bus, and they took you to a KC-135, and we went to go air refuel F-18s over the Atlantic.
That's
So that has to be probably up there as far as a favorite. I like the good. I've done a few exercises with the military. Having my job has some
mhm.
perks. So those experiences, being up close with people that serve, and be able to show them the photos and send them some photos over. It sounds like a airplane spotter. Yeah, it's a bad day. It's probably the thing that brings me the most joy. You know, is taking these photos, having these experiences. Every one of those experiences is probably my favorite. So I think those. I mean, I could go to anyone could go to an air show,
Mhm.
but there's not many people that can experience day-to-day operations, day-to-day training. That really every one of those things are a favorite. The V-22s in the middle of the Everglades were pretty fun.
Mhm.
Lessons learned not to drive on a taxiway, but you know things happen.
Yeah.
Um, and then I also uh, during press day for when I think it was, what was it, the Fighting Griffins were at Opelika, was on the ramp there at the Coast Guard station, and he was a gunny for the Marines. He was the maintenance person, and he's like, "Hey, you want to come out check out we're gonna open up the tilt rotor on these V-22 Ospreys, and we're gonna turn it on." And I was like, "Oh yeah, sure." And I was like on my lunch break from work, and I was not really supposed to go that far from my place to like Opelika, and and I was. It felt like I was maybe 2 minutes away from saying, "Hey, we're gonna go fly the demo. Do you want to jump on the plane?" And I was dumb enough to say, "Hey, I got to go back to work,"
Uh,
because I didn't know what to do. I had to sign out before I had to go back to work. So I should have just said, "Oh yeah, I forgot to sign out," or whatever. I forgot to like take off for the day. I should have just done this air show thing, but
yeah.
they
Yeah.
got rid of their V-22s. So uh, you know, next time we'll see.
Hey, there's always the opportunity. That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah, yeah.
Def-
Uh, there's a few lunch breaks I've gone and shot something at the airport. If Air Force One was flying in, I'd like, I'm just gonna go take a lunch break real quick,
yeah,
and I'll be right back. And
I've done that plenty of times. For an hour, and I'm gone like two. Like, where'd you go? I'm like, oh, I got caught in traffic. There was an accident. I'm 19. Whoops. Uh,
yeah.
yeah, but
Aviation Chris says, real question is when the Makos will get a color bird
oh,
again. That's a good question. I wish I knew. I know they did a 60th anniversary bird, but I don't know what their color scheme was. I had submitted a yeah, Master Jedi. I had submitted a proposal for a color scheme, but I think it had too many things going on, so they never chose it. But yeah, it'd be cool to see another color bird from. Right now, we have the have glass,
yeah.
a few birds that are in have glass, and then a few. that are still in the Wisconsin tail.
I need to get back down to home. I feel like every time I've gone, I've gotten screwed over, or I go to the landing spot only. I need to get some flexes from them.
Oh yeah, yeah. They've really just been flying straight out lately, so they're not flexing. I gotta go send a message to one of the guys and say, hey, I need some flexes on this day.
Absolutely. AP Aviation Photography says that's the one aircraft I'm not get on. I'm assuming he means the Osprey. On the photograph, we'll never get on one. uh,
Yeah,
yeah,
Fleming says, "What is half glass?" So half glass is it's a darker paint. It's supposed to be a less radar reflective. So the F-16 is probably the size of an F-16 on the radar. But when you put this half glass paint on a jet, it reduces their size, their radar size. You know, they're not a stealth jet. They're just supposed to be. I think it's just supposed to bounce the radar signature some like another direction, not like an F-22 Raptor. You take, you know, the crazy thing is you go to these air shows and you ever see and you check out their shots on the F-22s. They have this like little nodule, this little device underneath their plane that's doesn't look like it's supposed to be there. That's the only thing that's keeping it on radar. Because if they took that off, they'd be full stealth, and you wouldn't be able to see it until it was like 3 mile final. Yeah, that's right. Low observability. Observability. This ginger beer, man, is giving me.
strongest of them all.
Yeah. There is a cool story I heard from a tower operator. He was, I don't know where he was working, but um, he had F-22s coming in, and the F-22 was calling the tower and say, "Hey, we're 5 miles out, short final for whatever airport." And he's like, "Yeah, sir, I don't see you. Can you like radar ident?" And you know, and couldn't see him until he was like 2 miles out. And then when he landed, they're like, "Hey, you haven't been on radar." He's like, "Oh yeah, I forgot to mention. I forgot to put that little device on the bottom of the plane so you can't see anything." They were full stealth the whole time.
That's awesome. Bring up the you said the RCS pods. I thought it was kind of cool when I went to Duluth to see the F-117s. They usually fly them in full stealth mode, and that's like the point of training is to try and find them in stealth mode and whatnot. But one of the jets, and apparently it's very very rarely seen on F-117s. On the side, there's these little pods that those are their RCS things, and one of them had one on. So I'm not sure what they were doing with it, but I thought it was kind of a cool thing. You don't see that a lot, so I was
Yeah,
kind of glad. Something small.
cool.
And then we also got to see the F-35s without the radar reflectors in 2022, so that was pretty cool. So they were full stealth.
Very cool. Lundberg lenses.
Yeah,
Yes, thank you.
yeah. I totally forgot.
Yeah, you're right. It was like a little pill that they put underneath their plane.
Weird box
Yeah,
things.
yeah, for sure. I knew there was someone out there. Thanks, Lundberg lenses for the for radar detection. Um, I think I heard something about Sentry Savannah. Do you think they're gonna bring the F-117s for that?
I think so. I think they will, just because it's going to be a bigger Savannah Century again. We heard from a guy in the Air Force because obviously there was William Tell last year, and that was their big thing in Savannah. What happened was there's going to be a smaller Century, William Tell, and then
Mm-hmm.
be a big Century again, but no William Tell, and then it'll go back to small Century and big William Tell. So they're just going to like change it every year. So hopefully,
Yeah.
big one this year coming up, they'll have the F-117. But I'm definitely willing to bet it's going to be at Duluth again. I'm definitely willing to bet. The commander of Northern Lightning said to one of the press guys that we talked to, he was very pleased with the F-117 performance, so he wants them back. So hopefully they come back. If that's the case, I'm booking the flight right away because that's one plane I will spend a lot of money to go see.
Yeah, I when I saw people going to Duluth, I was like, Duluth, man, where the hell is this? You know, where are they flying? Was that international airport that they were flying into?
Yeah, it is. It's international, but nothing international
Yeah,
actually flies there. how I got there was nuts. So I saw that they were there. Someone sent me a photo. I booked a flight in my office at work that same day. I left work, got on the plane that next morning, flew to Duluth, and then I flew to Minneapolis, and then it was a 2-hour bus ride to Duluth. So I, while I'm on the flight, uh, I'm booking an Airbnb in downtown Duluth, and it ended up being this hostel, which was it was pretty nice, you know. But 2-hour bus ride, I had to Uber into downtown to the hostel. I got there. Thankfully, I could just scooter around the city, and then shout out to my boy Cal, very cool guy. He flew up and picked me up from the hostel, and we camped with his dad for the 2 days we spotted the Jets. So it was a very last second trip, but absolutely worth it. That was probably my favorite thing to happen in 2023, just because it was so just it was just a fun experience, just so random.
Yeah.
I did get some grandmas. That is if you ever go to Duluth, go to Grandma's. It's this bar there. It is so good. I loved it. It's amazing.
Yeah, we'll have to go and if I see something happening at Duluth, I might have to just take a few days, like a little overnight trip, like I did for Red Flag or something.
Absolutely, you should. Absolutely, Duluth is a beautiful city. The F-16s are. I caught that special one they had there too. Um, they do not give a crap there. They were just doing unrestricted. When they came back, every time they do like 3 or 4, up to like 10, like touch and goes, and they'd be in full burn every time, and they rip it over the field. It was super cool. I mean, it was such a fun trip. Such a fun trip. Plus, you get to see some other stuff that was pretty cool too. There's some warbirds up there that are pretty cool that they're in museums. So yeah, very fun trip though.
Cool. Spotted? Where have you flown to spot? I think that
Fun.
was one of the channel questions.
That's, oh, uh, definitely Wisconsin. 2022, I went to Northern Lightning to spot there, so I flew up there. Same thing with Oshkosh. I don't know if it's kind of a spotting or an air show, but Oshkosh, I flew to North Carolina for Cherry Point. I've flown to California for Miramar. Where else? Gosh, I've been. Most of this I've flown, I haven't actually. Most of them I've been to is actually in Florida, or I'll just drive.
Yeah. Yeah, Florida, it's the airports around here, it's like almost 4 hours in any direction
Yeah, I mean,
to get someplace.
to get to Jacksonville this past week, I wake up at 3 a.m., leave by 4, get there by 8, then I get home super late, and then I just process. So,
Yeah.
and then getting Miami is another 4-hour drive.
SK Photo says, what's your favorite? Northern Lightning, Century Savannah, or Red Flag?
Oof, they're all really cool. Northern Lightning's a lot of fun because you're always super close to the action, and they always flex. So they either flex right if they're the bad guys, or left if they're the good guys, and you're right where they turn. So you always get these amazing topside shots. If you're not, you're getting these like afterburner shots as they turn out, or they're unrestricted. So I think my favorite's probably Northern Lightning. Red Flag is definitely fun though. I think it just gets a little too crowded in my opinion. But I get it. Everyone wants to go see a plane, so I'm not going to judge. City Savannah looks pretty cool, but the one we had this past year was just the VAQ 209 Vader jet, which was also super cool, but it was definitely very small. So hopefully the next Century is a lot bigger and puts a better impression. But I think it was Northern Lightning for those 3.
Cool. What year did he go out to Red Flag?
I went in 2020 and 2021.
Very
2020
cool.
because it got me out from
Yeah.
quarantine. So
Well, Midwest photographer said you better be coming to Toledo sometime, Rocket Boy.
I did tell them the F-16s, they're pretty cool. They have all the cool like wasps on their jet. I have family in Ohio too, so it makes it easy to stay. I gotta get around. I get a lot of
Yeah,
to come spot somewhere.
I think the furthest I've ever gone to go spot was uh, uh, domestically was probably Nevada. I mean, I was young. I didn't really end up spotting, but I ended up going to see those F4s, and that was pretty sweet.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, you know what? Chino is the furthest I spotted.
You know.
I went to Plains of Fame there to go see the P-38.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't go during an air show, but we went during a trip, and we drove all the way to Chino, and we saw some pretty awesome planes there. My wife she likes to go with me to go spot, but only if there's an air museum.
Yeah.
She's not fond of standing out in the sun looking up at airplanes. So, that's
Uh,
cool. We could do it's a little compromise. We'll go for I'll do an air show and we'll take her for an air museum. So
yeah, definitely. Yeah, no, that's the one thing I just find kind of funny. And shout out to our buddy Alex. He's always out there being a ladies' man at air shows. I'm like, man, what are you doing out here, bringing your ladies out at air shows? They're probably out sweating their butts off.
yeah,
I don't want to be that guy that brings a chick to an air show for 9 hours and makes them die in
yeah,
the heat.
yeah. She's always telling me. I said, hey, there's this air show we're gonna drive. It's gonna take like 4.5 hours to get there. It's gonna be in a car with a bunch of guys. Probably be like farting and burping and telling
Great.
jokes and we're going to be standing out in the sun for like 7 hours and we're going to come back another 4 hours later. And she's like, wow, you really sell it. You really sell it to me. I said, yeah, if you want to come,
Is key,
you're
right?
always welcome. But, she's like, yeah, I don't want to, I'm not going to do that.
Uh,
You go have fun with the boys.
those are always the best trips.
Let's see another question I got that I was really not sure how to answer, but if money was no factor, what squadron are you gonna take photos of? Where are you
Oh,
gonna go and what squadron?
probably to Japan. That's something I've wanted to scratch off for a long time, and I'm still really salty I couldn't go last year because of that stupid hurricane. Um, but definitely want to do Japan. I just think the F-15s out there are super cool. Kadena looks super cool to spot at. Obviously, the F2s, the Japanese F-16s look super cool in that blue camo. So I I'd say anything in Japan really is what I want to go spot right now. I've seen a lot of. I've been very lucky to see a lot of the American jets fly. Um, Either that or maybe Dias to the B1s. I love B1s. They're like my
Yep.
favorite planes ever. So I'm hoping to go to Dias soon this year. But that's definitely a place I want to go for sure. I love the B1.
Yeah, that's man, all my favorites. You're just naming them one by one. B1 bomber's been a long time favorite. Now I gotta find a different one. A10s are a huge favorite. I've been loving that bird. For a little bit, and you know what the so SK Photo says Kingsley Field favorite field spotted. So many unique jets. Midwest photographer says Kunsan would be cool. See a few Vipers. Yeah, maybe. Yeah. He also said VFA 32 right
Mm-hmm.
now.
Yeah, I know
So
my favorite squadron. VQ1. That's pretty cool.
yeah, we had the Cadena like what was that an E4 last
The
year at McDill? E3.
E3 it did like passes.
Yeah, that was
That
cool.
was cool. I never posted those photos. I regret it. Those are really cool to see.
Yeah, it's good. We're in the off season right now for air shows, so we're posting a bunch of all the photos we didn't post last
Yeah,
year. I mean,
exactly. I'm trying to get all them out of my drafts and just on.
A400 AWACS.
Yeah,
Yep,
yeah.
for sure. You guys at Zax, you got the Nightmares F-35s up there. Savannah was popping with those
Yeah.
F-22s, and I think they had F-18s. I was told there's F-18s up
Hmm.
there. Uh, you guys really had the run of of the month. Really, I really wanted to get up there, and I couldn't make it. So hopefully I'll see those again. I'm sure I will.
Definitely.
Oh, E2s, yeah. Oh, carrier brakes. Those are the best.
I love E2s. I wish I'd see them more. They fly them out of Melbourne all the time, and I never go over. And they fly them out of they build them in St. Augustine. And yeah,
Yep.
we all need to get up there.
Yeah, I think the Northrop Grumman's in Melbourne, so they're probably going there for some type of avionics upgrade or something.
Yeah, I think it's like their depot because I know there's a big Northrop Grumman plant there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Melbourne. Yes, Yost.
this is cool. So I went over a couple weekends ago. We didn't get anything cool, unfortunately, but had some good beers. Hopefully next time I go, we'll get some fun. You know.
For sure.
See
Well,
what else.
we're approaching like an hour mark. That was
Yeah.
quick.
Yeah, it's always time flies when you have a good time, right?
For sure, man. I haven't even finished my beer
I
yet.
know. Halfway.
I know, it's about halfway, yeah. Well, hell, do you want to do a longer video or do you want to stick for an hour?
I'm always down to do longer. I got nothing to do.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, I'm just editing photos.
yeah,
Wait, let's ask the crowd here. What do you think? Should we continue past it and restart it, or do you think an hour is good enough? We'll put that out there.
I think y'all should ask us some cool questions if you guys want to.
Yeah, for
I'll answer.
sure.
I think we should plan a Miami guys and me. We should plan a Japan trip.
At Patrick, you're saying?
No, Japan trip.
Oh, a Japan trip. Man, if I go to Japan, I'm not gonna be able to spot. My wife is gonna be like, "Let's go everywhere." You know,
I feel
that's a that's a tough. I had to ask her. I said, "Hey, there's an air show going on in Sweden. I think. I think I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go spot that." She's like, "No, you're not going to spot that. We're going on vacation. That's what we're gonna do. We'll go on vacation in Sweden." I said, "Okay, well, we'll go to Sweden, but we're gonna go climb this freaking mountain so we can see jets flying into the canyon."
uh, awesome. That'd be awesome. I was hoping to go to Switzerland this year for the Outbacks exercise, but they canceled it, so I was
Yeah.
pretty bummed. But it looks like everyone's. Oh, yeah, question here. If you could pick a single jet to do air-to-air shooting with, what would it be? Go first.
Oh man, air to air. Um, the F-117 in the air would
I, was,
be pretty sweet. If I'm gonna go big. I'm gonna go F-117.
I I would agree there, or the B1. That'd be awesome.
Yeah,
That'd be super cool.
yeah, and then have it like come out,
Oh yeah, and
pop flares.
Turners.
Yeah,
Uh,
burners. Yeah, that'd be badass.
mhm.
Yeah, it looks like Alf says B1 also.
Absolutely.
What's your F-14 Kitty? What's your opinion?
Oh, I like Tomcat. You
I
know, I,
mean that everyone grew up
I
with that. If you watch not Star Wars, holy shit,
Starship
Top
Troopers.
Gun, yeah, Star Wars plot twist. Star Wars had the F-22. It's called the
Yeah.
Millennium Falcon. If you grew up with skis on, if you grew up, in aviation, you watch pretty much every aviation movie, and Top Gun was right there. F-14s,
That
badass.
was one of the first movies I ever saw, and I was like 3. Or specifically, my mom would always get really mad when I cussed, like along with the words, and she always put some soap on, be like, "Stop saying that." And like I couldn't see it happening, But yeah. I was very low key as a kid. I mean, I don't remember anything of it. I remember being there and seeing it, but I wish I could have been old enough to care shit. I was at Oceana in 2005 during the last F-14 Tomcat demo, and I didn't realize until like I got over. I'm like, holy crap! I saw the F-14. I didn't realize. So That was pretty cool. You know, I wish I would have been older to appreciate it more because it's such a cool jet. But
Yeah, it's I was just telling Aviation Spotter that we were talking about warbirds and vintage warbirds, and he had posted this F4 from Japan. I'm like, you know what? We should send them F14s from our graveyard. You know,
mm,
send them F14s, turn in those F4s, and
mm,
you know, have those things still fly. You know, it's sad that they went out in like 2008.
yeah, it sucks. Definitely sucks. I know they're supposed to make like a new version too, but because of the government, thank you government.
Yeah, yeah. Everything now is going to be an F-35. You know.
Yep, yep. Hopefully we get some more color. The Marines always do a good job with coloring their F-35s. The Alabama F-35 looks really cool. I hope to see that soon. That'd be really cool to see. I haven't seen anything from the Navy though. You know, maybe just because they're lazy or
Yeah.
whatnot. But you know, as long as they do some cool turns, I'm usually satisfied.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. These guys are saying, SK photo, let's invade Iran and get our F-14s back.
You know, I
Yeah, we
agree.
Midwest photographer says we could go to Iran and get them back, but then he doesn't want to be plowed by a JSSM.
Yeah, I don't know if I want to do that either. That might there is a surf show in Iran on was it Kish Island? It's a visa-free island turn.
Hmm.
So, and that would be pretty nuts to go to see F-14 fly.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Very cool with Americans going given the current climate, but you know you can always try.
Yeah. Hey, I mean, we got to see Tom Cruise in an F-14 and Top Gun
Yeah,
2, so maybe
exactly.
he'll fly it again in Top Gun 3.
Yeah, it was totally real, right? You know that wasn't
Yeah, for sure.
yeah. They
No.
did it all in real
Yeah,
life.
they just converted a zombie F-14 to a real bird.
They took it off on a taxiway, did all that cool stuff. You good on the Top Gun 2 for getting F-14 flying again.
Yeah, let's write to our congressman. We need the F-14
Yes,
back.
we do. We need a stealth F-14. That's
Yeah,
what we
for sure.
need.
All right. Uh, so I think we're gonna wrap it up.
Yeah, no,
Um, this has been fun, man. We got to do it
absolutely.
again.
I'm looking forward to coming down to Miami sometime and seeing you all again.
Definitely, it's gonna be fun having you come back down.
Yes. Now,
Um,
or
yeah,
the gang coming up to McDill. I know Alex is. Are y'all coming up to McDill?
yeah. I think I'm gonna go back to McDowell. I'm not fond of the 4 hour parking lot after the show, but you
Yeah.
know,
Hey, but that one place that we all went, Mad Dogs, that's worth it. I think after beers,
yeah, for sure.
definitely.
All right, where can people find your photos?
You can find me on Rocketman Aviation. I don't have anything else I post on, so you gotta just come here and hope I post something cool.
Awesome. Well,
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate you inviting me on here. It's always cool to talk to you and let everyone else listen. So
very cool. Well, thank you very much for joining us, and we'll see you at
yeah,
McDill.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Cheers,
Cheers.
cheers.
All right. Have a good one.
I will see you, man.
Bye.
Bye.